Hey everybody, welcome to On the Bench. So I just wanted to show you real quick. This is what's on the bench currently. And I want to show you a little something about what I'm going to do with this. So this is just a seashell that has had some really pretty crystal put onto it. Let's see if I can get in a little closer. Now I'm hand holding the camera, so I'm sorry if things get a little shaky. Okay, so I love the shell. It's going to make a really pretty pendant. However, there's a couple little blemishes on the shell. Right there. There's actually a little hole in the shell. And then just over here, I don't really like that little area right there. And then let me see if I can't get a better shot of that little. If you go like this, you can see the hole. There it is. See the little hole there? But it's really pretty, and I'll make a beautiful necklace out of that. So I'm going to salvage it by using some jeweler's glue and some flat back sparkliness. And I'm going to cover the hole and decorate the shell a little bit, cover up that little area there, and we'll just see what happens. So stick with me, you'll see it when I'm done. Thanks. Hello. Okay, so I have added some sparkle to the areas where the shell had some little blemishes. I think one right down there. So hang on a second, let me see if I can't lean it here. Ooh, bright lights, hang on. I'm hand holding the camera, so I'm sorry if it's a little shaky. Alright, so that's the pendant. Sort of fixed. Now, I don't know. We'll have to see what it ends up being. I don't know yet. So stay tuned for this episode of On the Bench. Hey everybody, welcome to On the Bench. I don't usually film these as a full-length or longer video, but I want to do that with this piece because it was a little bit of a struggle, and that's all part of design. I started this one with this pretty little shell. I'm going to hold it up for you. And there'll be some pictures of it, and I do think I filmed some tiny little snippets. I knew I wanted to work with the shell. Of course, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. That's part of On the Bench, is picking a piece and then what's it going to become. So the two prior little snippets you'll see, I'm showing you the shell, and that there were a couple little dings in it that I didn't like too much, so I corrected them, if you will, by adding some Aurora Borealis crystals to the places on the shell I didn't like. So that's great, right? I did it, I got that done, I was happy with how sparkly it came out, and that you can't see like there was literally a hole in the shell right there, so you'd never know now. And then I put it down on my bench. And I sat there and looked at it. And I looked at it. And I went to bed and I got up the next day and guess what I did? I looked at it. And then I put it aside because I was just, nothing was coming to me. I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with this. I even went so far as to put it aside, and I started another on the bench piece, which this is now the finished product. I started with just the arrowhead, and this is what I came up with. I paired it with some leather and some Peruvian ceramic and a little bit of crystal, and I just made a choker necklace. So I got a whole other on the bench completed. Well, this one was still sitting here staring at me going, yeah, come on, what are you gonna do with me? Huh? I still didn't know. So I finished the arrowhead piece, and I photographed it in the light box, and I put it aside, and I was sitting here looking at this thing. And then, I don't know how it works for you or other designers, or not even jewelry designers. Any project you're trying to tackle or figure out how you want to do or what you want to do with it, it just struck me. I guess I started sort of thinking about all the beads that I do have and what could I pair with this, and what did I even want it to be. It's obviously going to be a necklace because this is a pendant. Do I want it long? Do I want it short? Ugh, it was just all over the place and back and forth. But then I thought, oh, wait, mermaid. It's a shell, it's sparkly, it's mermaid, and I have these beautiful faceted, sparkly, I don't know if you're catching the sparkly, I sure hope you are. Let me pick a few up. Right, these will flash different colors. I thought, oh, just a pretty long necklace with all those. And this particular shape is called a rondelle. I don't know if it would be easier for me to show you like this. Okay, so this is a rondelle. It's not a round, it's sort of like a squished round. Right, so that's a rondelle. And I thought, well, let's pair it with some rounds. And obviously, that is a round. So I thought I would pair it with a bunch of those too. Because you can get different colors out of this one because of the way the crystal is backed. So it's sort of a bluish on that side, but if you flip it over, then you get all kinds of pinks and oranges and really pretty. So I thought, well, that's gonna be pretty. And then I thought, do I want to add anything else? Well, I don't know. If I'm gonna keep with the mermaid theme and sort of oceany colors, I thought those might be pretty in with it. So I took those and I laid them down and I said, nope, I don't want that. So I decided I don't want anything else. I just want to do something with these. And that's as far as I've gotten right now. I literally just decided to use these sort of mermaid colored crystal beads, and said I should film this. So I stopped, I got my lights out, I set my camera up on the tripod, and yeah, here we are. Now what? Well, that's a really good question. Necklace, for sure, because it's a pendant. And a piece like this, I'd go one of two ways. I'm either gonna go really short so that it hangs at the nape of the neck, not the nape, right at the base of your neck. The nape of your neck is the back of your neck, so I don't know why I said that. Or I'm gonna go really, really long and have it hang off a really long piece. I don't know which way I'm gonna go. It would look really pretty either way. Yeah. So I guess I still have to think about that. I'm gonna do it on cord. It will be a hand knotted piece, I think. I might do it on a chain, do these on loop links, and make it a long, maybe I will do it like that. Loop links, if you're wondering what on earth is she talking about. So I could do a bunch of these. Oh, am I gonna do 18 gauge? Hang on, I will make a loop link really quick here. Oh, okay. So I could make a bunch of loop links like this, and then just make a long chain and hang that off the bottom. Yeah, sure. I like it. That's the way we'll do it. Because if I really don't like it, I'll just take it apart and do something else. So, now the other thing, so I've made that decision. I'm going to put it on loop links. I will probably actually do this on 20 gauge, not 18 gauge, because the 18 gauge is, if it's going to be a long piece, if I use 18 gauge, it's going to add a lot of weight to the piece, and I don't necessarily want it real heavy. So when you're working with metal and you're going to do a really long piece, weight is a consideration, because the beads, because they're crystal, you get 130 or 40 of them or so, that's definitely some weight. So I will do on 20 gauge. I might leave that one on 18 and just do something like this. See, this literally just came to me. And you guys think I know what I'm doing. Right? And the pendant will hang like that. So I'll do it as an infinity piece, and then this will hang off as a longer dangle off the end as a pendant, right? Ooh. So, and when I'm talking wire gauges, let me show you. I gotta open up a new spool. Oh, wait. You ready? Watch. Ah! Yeah. Alright. So that was coiled up there pretty tight. Let me just show you. And I don't know if this is going to translate on camera very well, but we'll try. And I want to make sure I'm in the frame. See, I'm getting better. I have the camera a little lower now on the tripod next to me, so I'm not on the squeaky table, shaky table anymore. And I have it so I can sort of lean over and see the screen to see what I'm filming. I'm working on it. Okay, so this is 20 gauge wire. I have a little fuzzy in there. That's 20 gauge. This is 18 gauge. 18 gauge is a heavier wire. It's thicker. I don't know if you can see that. But there you go. So I will likely do these loop links on 20 gauge. Then, okay, so that's another decision made. And so a little piece of advice, I guess, take it for what you will. And this is something that I still have to remind myself of. Don't keep second guessing yourself all the time. If you spend all your time second guessing and second guessing and second guessing, guess what? You're not ever going to get anything done. You're not ever going to get anything accomplished, and you're probably not going to learn anything either. So this is real time. You're seeing me making the design decisions as I'm going, as I'm working here right with the pieces. Now, this did sit on my bench for a couple of days. I ended up finishing a whole nother piece before this one. But I needed to step away from it. So I guess that's another thing. Know when to step away for a little bit. Work on something else. Get your creativity or whatever it is working on something else and complete that, because it feels good to finish something. And then that helps to reset your head a little bit, I think. And put it aside and come back and revisit. And so now this is what I'm filming for you guys, is the revisit. Okay, so I know I want to use two styles of beads. These rondelles and the rounds. So that says to me I need to probably create some kind of a pattern. So that'll be the next thing that I'll have to think about. Do I want more of the rondelles or more of the rounds? I want more of the rondelles. So, and I have mentioned this before, think in odd numbers. When you're designing anything, whether it's designing jewelry, interior design, even in photography, you got to think in odd numbers. So odd numbers is more aesthetically pleasing. Meaning it's more pleasing to the eye and the brain than even numbers is. And test it out for yourself. If you have a fireplace, a mantelpiece, try putting 2 candlesticks up on the mantelpiece and see how you like it. But then do a grouping of 3 and see how much better that looks and how it shifts the design completely. So think in odd numbers. So if I want to use more of these rondelles, and I'm going to be thinking in odd numbers, I think I will want okay, so if I'm going to do groupings, I need to consider the odd number thing. So if I'm going to do groupings like this, do a grouping, so a rondelle, round, rondelle, rondelle, round, rondelle, etc. like that. I would do it like this. And then to show that it's grouping so that you can visually see when you're looking at the piece that it's in groupings, I would put a plain link, probably one of my infinity links, in between each grouping. So you have grouping, link, grouping, link. Now, where I don't have to worry about the thinking in odd numbers too much is if I'm going to do it just one for one for one for one. You'll still see it come into play as a pattern. Because I'm still probably going to do rondelle, round, rondelle. So you would still see it as a pattern, but it won't be as obvious to the eye. But you would still want to lay it out in odd numbers. So I have to decide whether I want to leave a space or run it all together. So part of that decision, so what will affect that decision is how many beads do I have? If I want to run them all just next to each other with no links in between, I have to make sure I have enough beads to do that for the length of necklace I want. So I probably do have enough of these beads. And I haven't decided if I want to separate them out or just have bead next to bead next to bead next to bead. So I'm not going to overthink that too much. I'm going to make all of the loop links, so I'll put a bunch of these beads on loop links, and then I'll start playing with the layout, and it really will probably just come down to what I feel like at the moment. So however I'm feeling is how the piece will come out. And then I'll have to think about length. So if I do it really, really long, this is one reason I love really long infinity pieces, you'll be able to wear the piece really, really long and have the shell hanging at the bottom of that. Or on a really, really long piece like this, you'll be able to wrap it up around your head, so you'd be able to wear this as a choker right up at the base of your neck, and then still have a long piece of the chain hanging down. So you'll be able to see that. I'll photograph it both ways so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Alright, so I'm going to stop this here because there's no reason for you guys to sit there watching me make loop links. And when I get the piece completed, you'll see it. And that will be our on the bench. Thanks for watching. Kiss and a peck and a hug.